go first because I'm curious. I'm not sure if everybody else is curious, but I would love to learn, especially since you guys just hit 2 years, 2 or 3 years.
Too. Yeah.
Two, it's a huge, huge, huge deal. So I guess in that realm, how did we get here? How did we get here 2 years later? Take
Yeah,
us back.
absolutely. So, for anyone who doesn't know me, I'm Haley. I'm the founder of onewith. Um, we make patent pending women's swimsuits that fit like no show underwear. So, Brittany and I both have on actually the same swimsuit today. This is our Havens one piece in honey spots. Um, and basically, the whole genesis of the brand started when I literally said out loud, when I was trying on a bunch of different swimsuits, that I wish I had a swimsuit that fit me as well as my favorite no show undies did. So that was the moment where I knew if that didn't exist, I had to create it. So that was in April of 2019. It took me 2.5 years from that moment, but 2.5 years later, I launched One With, and we just hit our 2 year anniversary. I believe Brittany and I both share the trait of being solo bootstrap. Are you bootstrapped too?
Yeah. Yes,
Okay,
100%.
cool.
If there was something under bootstraps, we'll be that. But
Like, is there a scrappier layer than bootstrapped? It remains
exactly,
to be seen. I feel the same
exactly,
way.
exactly. So, what were you doing before you got that idea?
So I was doing social media content creation. I had done that for a pretty long time, and I had also kind of almost always simultaneously worked in the bridal industry. Um, so One With kind of marries, and can you hear me okay? Because as I knock my, okay. I have my phone resting on like a coffee
Yeah,
table.
you're fine.
So yeah, so I've always kind of weirdly worked simultaneously in fashion and social media. So One With blends those two backgrounds, but it's not directly on the nose. Ecom, as you know, is like a totally different skill set from either of those things, and my background helps, but it did not, I don't want to say it didn't prepare me, but it's not directly relevant experience, I would.
Yeah, I get that. Get that. And especially, you said you got the idea in 2019. I'm assuming you're developing actual swimsuits in that 2 years. Am I correct?
Literally, it took me like a year from thinking of One With to actually making my next move. Like,
Oh,
okay,
wow.
how am I going to produce these suits? How, like, I literally was like, do I go back to school? Do I learn how to be a pattern maker and like draft my own Like, I was going through all these things, and finally, um, I it just kind of things unfolded, and I was like, I'm hiring a technical designer who has this experience, like buying someone's experience, basically. And that sounds like a shortcut, but it's not. It's the smart way to work. Um, and I just, whenever people come to me and they're like, how do I bring my product to life? I'm always like, just go on Upwork, find someone
Mhm.
who is a technical specialist in this thing, because if you try to do it yourself, you're going to end up paying someone anyways, probably. So,
Okay. Yeah.
you know, um, but anyways, I could like, that's a whole thing, but I'd love to hear your origin story and just like how Butter came to be.
Yeah. So mine goes way, way back to when I'm like 13, 14 years old. I deal with eczema, as many people around me at the time did as well, or does. But everything that I was using was making my skin either worse, making it irritated. It would work for like an hour, but by the time I get outside or, it my skin became even more irritated. So I my confidence completely diminished. Like I remember feeling like, why am I the only one that's complaining about it at least? Or why am I the only one that gets bullied for it if it's so common? So I don't know if you remember the DIY era with like YouTube and like YouTube University was coming about. We were all like on this revolution of like doing things ourselves. And that was my thing. That was the thing that I naturally gravitated towards, was like doing my own skincare products, doing my own hair care products, but I'm doing them for myself. Like I'm not sharing it with anyone. So fast forward, and when I actually got to college, I was still creating my own regimens for myself. And then my roommate found some stuff, like, because I think she ran out of lotion. And she used it for the day, and she was like, oh my God. Yeah, and it was like in some leftover yogurt jar or something like that. I probably like found something. She's like, oh my God, you have to sell this. Yeah, she said, you have to sell this. And I'm like, huh? What are you talking about? So I remember that following week, my campus, I went to school in North Carolina A&T. They had like a small business pop up or what have you. And I decided to order some jars on Amazon. This is totally illegal. Don't do this. But it just speaks to my spirit, right? It's like, couple people told me it was good at this point, and they're like, do it. And I did it. I had no label, no brand name. I had a blog at the time, and it wasn't on e-commerce or anything like that. And I did it, and everyone loved it. I was eventually started shipping orders. I was carrying my book bag and then products in another tote bag, giving it to my professors because they would order from me the day before. Like, so it was this like trickling effect from like me being like 19, 20 years old. And when the pandemic hit, fast forward again, I was like, I'm going to continue this. So I got the, person to help me on Upwork and Fiverr to actually help me come up with formulations. I redesigned everything, came up with the name Butter'd Bodycare, things like that. That's when I kind of formalized everything. So that's when the brand launched. We had some samples go out to like some of my first customers. So again, it was this trickling effect, all because of that kind of teenage girl years then.
Well, wait, let me ask you this. What current buttered product is most like the one that your friend tried and was like, you have to make this?
Yes, so it's our all fluff. Our all fluff body cream is most like it. This one here, the purple, yes, this is the hero. Oh my God. Mine is semi gone. I of course it's my own supply, but yes, it just absorbs really well. It just absorbs really really well, and it lasts throughout the day. Lotions typically don't work for me. To this day, they don't work for me. I've tried, I've tested, and butters are as thick as can be, but that's why it was really important for me to make it be really lightweight on the skin, even though it's butter. So we have so many things coming out. We have oils, as you know. We have our jelly. We have our first like pumpable lotion-ish coming out. So I'm excited to what's to come in the moisture space. But that's kind of how I started. And of course, this is all off the backs of people with the same problem as me at the end of the day.
I love the first time I saw your brand. I was just, first of all, I love seeing other brands that are small like we are, but put the utmost of care in what their website looks like, what their branding looks like. There's this tremendous gap I feel between like small business and then like high end, not, I shouldn't say high end branding, but just like really thought out branding.
Yeah.
And when I saw, I think on our first call, Brittany, I was like, your site, like what did you do? How did you do it? Please tell me. It's just, it's so
Yeah.
good. And I can just tell the immense amount of care that goes into it. And honestly, the fact that it started from, like you said, that sort of like trickle down domino,
Yeah.
however you want to say it, of just this college girl, not to diminish it or anything,
No, it definitely was
and
that time.
it's just it's just amazing and your product is amazing and again I just look at this branding and I'm like this just makes me so happy.
Thank you. And yes, it's also a testament to like just do it. Just do it anyway and fix it later, I guess. Like when we first launched, I didn't have a website that looks like this today. But of course, I got better and got inspired and got other people to help me, etc., which helped me, better myself through the years. But when we first started, it looked like crap. But I didn't care. I was like, okay, that kind of naive factor too, you know?
Your story kind of reminds me of Health Aid Kombucha. I don't know if you've ever heard their story. You should listen to it on How I Built This. That's like the NPR.
I love kombucha, so.
Me too. No, me too. It's by far my favorite one. And they talk about how like basically it was kind of like something they were sort of doing as a thing for them. Like they needed to make kombucha for some reason. And then they like got an opportunity to go to a farmer's market, brought things with no but like basically no bottles, like no labels.
Yeah.
People were like, wait, this is really good. And they're like, oh shoot, now we need labels. Now we need a name. Like you know what I'm saying? So I love I love stories like that because it's kind of the opposite of us where we didn't go to market until we had granted it was an early concept of one with but like still we didn't go to market until it was like a fully flushed out thing and sometimes I kind of hope like my next thing is something more like I don't want to say organic like that but I love stories like that that literally start as like a building block kind of situation.
Do you remember the first item you've ever sold?
That's a great question. I'd probably say it was. Oh, actually, no. I know that my first customer was my best friend.
Aw, they're always the first customers, right?
No, I remember. So I don't know what she bought, but I think she bought like 10 suits because we launched right before Black Friday 2 years ago. So she like bought suits for basically everyone in her family, and that was so I can't tell you exactly what it was, but I know who it was. What about you?
Yeah. Um, my first buttered order, I'll say, was um it was a friend, of course. I don't remember what she bought. So we launched with some samples, so I guess I'll count that as a first order, but we had some samples for some folks to test out and of course it was one of my friends way back when in college that was just waiting. So, definitely her. I was gonna say too that our customers are people that I never thought that would even be interested in the brand, but they're like from all over, you know? Some people I know personally, some people I don't know, and they're like very intrigued with me as a person. It's like funny how creating a business can connect you with so many different people.
Absolutely. And that I've actually talked today with someone just how different your customer can be from who you initially thought would be interested in your product. Oh wait, can you hear me? What does the coffee cup mean? Did you just do that, or is that a
I have no idea what that means. Hopefully, I didn't do anything.
coffee cup for if you were a coffee cup?
I was a
But
coffee cup. What?
like someone riddle me that. But yeah, I definitely what was I saying? I definitely was talking to someone today about just like who you think your customer is going to be, who it ends up being. And
Mhm.
being I love being surprised personally. I don't know about you, like I'm calculated and I feel like I'm right about a lot. No, like I'm not saying that to brag, but I just say that as like a it's kind of just I just look at patterns and I see and when a pattern breaks and something is different than what I expected, I'm like, honestly, yes, like please, more of this.
More of this. Speaking of patterns, or not speaking of patterns, but what makes you or gravitates you towards the products that you create? Because I love this. I love how versatile it feels and how, because sometimes swimsuits are really, really tight.
Yeah.
And no one talks about that feature. Like, why do they have to be so? I don't know what's the word. You probably know more than me, but just uncomfortable in a sense. But sometimes I think that's the look, but it doesn't have to be. So, talk me through your products. Talk me to how you think of creating them, the patterns, etc., and maybe some of your faves.
Um, with one with like everything is simple. Like all of our designs are really simple. Everything, like we're not reinventing the wheel with any particular silhouette. Sorry, I'm like hunching right now, so my suit is, I'm just like making sure nothing's like coming out. Uh,
Fave.
we're not reinventing the wheel with any of our like designs per se. It's really hard to do that in swim, save for a couple brands, but what we obviously did reinvent the wheel on, and I can say that, with my feet firmly placed on the ground, I guess, is just our concept, which is swimsuits that feel like underwear. And that kind of phenomenon that you were talking about, Brittany, is like the digging, the squeezing, the compressing that comes from tight
Yeah.
elastic. And again, like my whole thing was, why can't we just have swimsuits that fit like no show underwear does without that just like really gross feeling tight bulky
Yeah.
edge, like it just drove me nuts. So that was it. But yeah, all of our designs and stuff are really just classic swimwear silhouettes, I think, or just,
Yeah.
really tried and true swimwear silhouettes that we have done the one with way. And honestly, you know, I don't want to say like, I use the term design so loosely because again, like what I designed is the concept. You know what I'm saying? Like I do not
Yeah.
consider myself a swimwear designer of sorts. Um, but when I do, create a new one with style, let's say that, it's based on demand, it's based on demand. It's like, our next couple of styles that we have coming out are things that people have asked for and that, I tweak them because I know ultimately what does well, what people like. Um, but it's like community demand basically. It's what goes well with the brand. I remember someone said to me, this is like earlier this year, they're like, when are you coming out with a ruffle? And I'm like, no, literally the antithesis of one with. I like everything simple.
Yeah.
I have this rule where it's like, if you can't hold it up on a hanger and know exactly how it goes on, I don't
Yeah.
like,
Oh, I like that.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I want to look at it and be like, yeah, I can put that on my body. Like I want one with to always be easy. So that's kind of my ethos when we go into creating a new style for the brand, is just like, what works? What are people asking for? Is it one with E? You know,
Yeah. I like
the like. So, what about you? How do you create new styles, new products, or not new styles? I should say new SKUs.
new skills. I would say pretty similar from a community standpoint. I love getting people's feedback. I did a pop up the other day, and that's literally all I did. If someone didn't buy, asking them what they thought about the product itself is very important to me. So, community feedback, but I too get crazy requests of like, you should do this scent, you should do this. And I'm like, first of all, three people would buy it. So, like, thanks for the feedback, though. Love you, but come on. And then I also agree with the demand, right? Like, I would love to get into other categories, but knowing where the business is today, that's probably not a good idea. Like, I really want to stay within moisturizers and kind of get that body care aisle down packed and then expand. But I still like note everyone's feedback, of course. And then all off of my own personal, like if I don't like using the product, if I pick up something else, if I have my friends or family test it and they don't like it, then it's not going out. Like as simple as that. But I guess I have to be a little biased towards what's coming out first before anyone else. And I was gonna ask you too, how do you name your SKUs too? Because I don't have like a theme or a concept. I'm trying to be more fun with our names, but I would love to see how you name your products. Oopsies.
Wait, I just heard you. Hear me. He just cut out.
I can hear you. I can't see you.
Really? It was the same for me a couple seconds ago. Can you see me now?
You're back. Oh,
Wait,
you're back.
that's so weird. Am I back?
Yes, you're back.
Can you hear
Okay.
me?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. How I name my styles. So, with the exception of one SKU, which like kind of drives me bananas, but I named it so early on, I like just didn't back away from it. All of our styles are named after um, places in the Northeast, places in the tri-state. So literally every single thing is something that is either significant to me or like our demographic, basically. So um, I grew up in Connecticut. I know we're state people, two of us. So, do we have a Jersey one? Are they two Jersey one? No, we don't have a Jersey one right now, but we might. But yeah, all of our styles are basically named after things in Mass, Island, Connecticut, New York right now.
Nice.
So I
That's
keep like a
huge.
running
'Cause
list.
now it's clicking. Now it's clicking, like all the ones I've seen, of course, purchased. Wow. See, I wish I had a theme. Our theme, I guess, is food. I guess, but that wasn't on purpose. But I love that. I love that little notch or nod rather. Yeah.
No, it that's the thing is like once you have a theme, it makes everything easy. Because if someone suggests something to you, it can be like, nope. You know what I'm saying? Because either fits or it doesn't.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, and like for example, like our solids will always be one word, whereas our prints will always be two words. Like I have different little schemas that things have to fit in
Hmm.
my mind. Like, you know,
That's
like
so
I just
cool.
yeah, thank you. I'm thinking that like I'm looking at your products in front of me. All fluff body cream, fluff, perfect. Helly jelly, jelly, hyper mango. Yeah, like it's all
Yeah.
food. So that is a
It's
theme. And
all
then your branding is obviously food.
exactly. But like when I started, I didn't think I'm gonna name everything after food. It just kind of worked. And then when I got to the oil, I was like, okay, oil seems dated, I guess. So we named it glaze, but glaze also goes with food. So it's like, yeah, exactly. So it's like, okay, it works. And then jelly came after, and I was like, all right, we're gonna keep the jelly thing going. I've been thinking of a name for the next product since it'll be like a pumpable moisturizer. I'm thinking sauce or something like that. But I'm like, now we're deep in the corny hole. Like now we're on the deep end. Like we could get by with butter, but if we're saying sauce, it's like, all right, all right.
That is and also like not for nothing, that is how I want to feel when I put my moisturizer on. Also, I just want to say, like, let me put people onto your products for a second. Okay,
I'm sorry. Oh, that's so sweet.
all fluff body cream. Like you were saying before, like lotions will last for a short period of time. I literally was telling my friend about this the other day, and I was like, it does not come off, so to speak. Like you don't feel like anything is
Yeah.
until literally you shower. Like
Mhm.
it is in your skin. You know, like it's incredible. Like
Thank you. That means a lot. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I am humbled because that's all I would ever want. Like, I don't want anyone to feel like it's a second layer on their skin or like super greasy or like it's simple. As you were saying about your style, it's very simple. We don't have ever, crazy colors or glitter or like I will never do those things because I have sensitive skin, right? And like I found the simpler, the better. Let's get back to the basics. A good, healthy moisturizer. And I feel like beauty has been distracted by a lot of things, a lot of gimmicks, a lot of, yeah, just like things that people can be distracted by just by grabbing someone's attention, but in the long term, kind of being harmful to their skin, you know? It goes back to that intention and being very mindful of like how I create. So that means a lot. Thank you. I think I lost your sound a little bit. Let's see. Maybe it's me. La la la. Testing.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I heard you. Yeah, cool.
Um, no, I was saying like with skin, I sometimes go on a site and I'm like, there's just a lot of options. It's like paradox of choice. I think you doing like one of each thing so well or a couple of each thing so well is perfect. Like your site is so easy to shop. It's so easy to make a decision. And yeah, if anyone like my personal plug is if you don't know where to start, this because I'm obsessed
Can't
with
go wrong. It's unscented. It feels great. It's layerable. So if you want to put an oil over, please do. Like, it is just the basic standard hero that I love. I still use, obviously, even with all of our products. But yeah, it comes in 3 different sizes. And we also just launched our gift boxes, guys, for the holidays. You get 3 of each of our jarred products, and they're just so adorable. I love them wrapped up in a little bow, literally.
that. And again, even just your visuals for that launch, Brittany,
Yeah.
are just like on point.
Thank you.
So good. And I just know how much goes into that and
Mhm.
it's 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 whatever when it's a big brand, when it's a small brand, like I know it's just it's hard to execute on that level as a small brand and you do it flawlessly and I'm just so in awe of like everything I see you put out because it just I'm like how did she do this? How?
I feel the same for you in the content and also showing up because I feel like in most of your content, you're physically showing, of course, the styles that you have on for the day. Sometimes I'm glad it's literally a product that I could take a picture of and go about my day, but you physically show up. You physically put it on.
My
You
body shows up. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. You know what I mean? Like, and then knowing that you have your background in social media, it makes sense. It
Yeah.
makes sense now how it's just natural to you, you
Yeah,
know?
I love it. I do. I really love it. And I knew I didn't want my face to be in everything or even super tied to the brand. I wanted it to like stand on its own. And I honestly, our best content is when there's no faces, like not me, not another model, like people like seeing it either like on a trunk. I think it helps kind of put make people put themselves in that suit when they like don't see the face attached or something about that. And then also like our other content that does really well is when the suits are just on my kitchen countertop. Like I always joke, I'm like, my kitchen countertop, the ROI on that thing when I redid my kitchen is crazy because we've had so many videos go viral with just the suit on my countertop. And I think it really
Yeah.
speaks to people just wanting to see the product and picturing themselves in it and like not necessarily wanting to, have to look at a model and be like, okay, here's how this model, is different from my body or different from my features. It's like, I think it almost helps to kind of disembody it and just show it for what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
Yeah. So, but trust me, like it's definitely one of those things where I'm like, okay, the next thing I come out with, I want it to be something where I can hold it in front of the camera and
Like
this.
this.
Yeah. Like,
Buy it.
yeah. This is me on social media for the day, just like you know what I'm saying. But
Yeah.
and just like the like not being sized and stuff like that, but also skincare definitely is something that's like obviously people are really subjective about it and it's a sensitive thing just like swim so um obviously it has its own like content creation and just general like things to navigate.
Exactly. That's funny because the content with my face does the most, like does the best. Yeah, that's funny. I have no idea why. Like why?
Like
Why me?
for a minute because I'm like what is it about like the skincare? You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that's so interesting.
Um, I don't know. I have no idea. But usually, behind the scenes, how I got here, et cetera, et cetera. Um, Primarily like products, I mean, photos or videos with the product by itself, unless they do look amazing,
Yeah.
like the gift box photos, it probably won't do as well. But it's funny. It's like the opposite for us.
So interesting. Yeah. No, and that's what I love too. I love talking to people because sometimes I'll say things like what I just said, and then someone will be like, no, it's my face, or like, no,
Yeah.
people always need to see my thing on a model. And it's just so interesting how different demographics and different like fan bases of a product, however you want to say it,
Yeah.
take to that thing so differently. Um, I just find it so interesting.
Yeah, me too. And I think customers all over, I think this is affirmation that everybody likes something for a different reason, right? Like we all have room to exist for different people because we gravitate towards different people. And a lot of people wouldn't even show up on social media because they'll be too nervous or don't know. But you and I assume, we test different things. I've done thousands of different videos just to get that answer and just to be confident and like people like my face. you know it's it's
What
it's
a compliment.
it's
It's
but
a
it's
beautiful face.
thank you, but people gravitate towards it. I have no idea why, but I've done thousands of videos, I feel like, and yeah, it's all about that, taking that first step and testing it out.
You know what video I saw you do the other day, and I'm like, oh, we need to do this, but it's not going to be as good because we definitely don't have like as good of a product for this. Like your ASMR unboxing.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah.
Ooh, we need to do a version of this. So if you see that, don't worry, I'll give you
Yeah,
credit.
I could do it with the bag a little bit. I don't know.
I love it. What
Yeah, that's true.
other than stuff with your face in it, like what formats do well for you?
Hmm.
Like for anyone that might be watching this, like in terms of, wanting to expand their social media game or try new things, like what formats do well for you, just content wise, other than the
Um,
face stuff?
Texture for sure.
Okay.
I've done some texture shots in the past, and people think it's food. Like quite literally, it looks like ice cream or
Yeah.
something. So I had like a fake ice cream cone and put some product on it, and people were like, "What's that?" And I even took the ice cream cone and like smashed it on my face before. But it's just fun. It's just like fun content like that. That'll be a little quirky, but incite some like question, like, what is this? So you'll see some of that, a lot of that on our page actually, of like the piping, the smearing, the me putting it on my face, stuff like that.
I love I there's those videos on TikTok of like people piping.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
hmm
Yeah, it's so intriguing. What about on TikTok, like just video formats that have worked well for you? Like same texture thing, or like how does that go for you guys on TikTok?
yeah. So Instagram, they want to see my face, they want to see me.
Mhm.
I am the Instagram page, basically. On TikTok, it would be more of those texture shots because they aren't as familiar with me as a person as Instagram might be. So the texture shots, the slamming, not slamming, the like, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And like the piping videos, those do the best on TikTok for sure.
I just find this so cool to just see what works for every brand. And I don't know, knock wood, I haven't gotten tired of like the type of formats that we do and I feel like do a lot of. Like it's so fun.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I love that. Yeah, no, I'll get tired of it. I'm like, I'm exhausted. I've did this video 16 times.
Yeah.
Something else, please. Have you done a video sharing your story, sharing what happened? I know it's on your website, but like, have you had it live on Instagram or TikTok?
When we first launched, but honestly, you probably raise a good point as to I should probably post it again. Like the full story because I did do like a whole shoot for it. But again, I just get weird with showing too much of me. Like me not like disembodied from myself, like me, you know, head to toe, if you will, because again, I want the brand to like live on its own and like have it be something other people resonate with. And I don't know, it's just like a thing that I have. So
Yeah.
I think that we probably could stand to post it again though, because it is a good video. It's a solid video.
Great video. It's a great video.
Thank you. It's one of those things where I look back on it and I'm like, okay, knowing what I know now, I could have done this a little differently, but in terms of the way we shot it and stuff, it was really fun. So honestly, you're inspiring me, Brittany. I'm gonna
Thank you. Thank you. And I know we're both, of course, small businesses, but who are some big businesses that really like excite you or inspire you or you see yourself in, or maybe even founders themselves, not so much their businesses.
great question. Um, and I'll go, and then I definitely want to hear your answer too, naturally. But I think for founders, for me, I love Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx. She bootstrapped it for what, like 20 something years, like something wild like that. And obviously, just her product and her story, I just really resonate with. She didn't tell anybody her idea for a year. I followed that same protocol. Like, I just love her so much. So, Sarah Blakely. I also love Sophia Amoroso, um, founder of Nasty Gal and Girl Boss.
Oh.
She's amazing. Like,
Mhm.
I really love her sensibility. She doesn't subscribe to what everyone else subscribes to and just like the tropes. And she's even like kind of semi-denounced like the way that girl boss has like taken on a life of its own, like that term, and she's like it's not supposed to be used like that, like you know what I'm saying, like the
Yeah.
way that you guys have taken this. And I just like love her for that. She just like takes a stand. And I definitely want to get there like one day, just in terms of that level of like outspoken sensibility. And big brand itself, like what's a big, honestly, all of my favorite stuff right now and the things that I look up to the most and geek out on is small businesses. Like that's not, I'm not
Oh.
trying to be cheeky with that. Like that's real.
Hmm. That I love that because that's who I tend to shop with too.
Yeah.
Like when I do these events, I'm like, oh, that's different. I'll try it. You know, that's naturally being a small business, you kind of gravitate towards them a little bit more. Makes
I
sense.
know, I agree.
Yeah.
Shout out to some good small businesses. Hulkin. If you don't have a Hulkin, Brittany, you need to get a
Where's
Hulkin. Do you
Oakland?
have one?
Plug us,
Oh
please.
my gosh, let me put you on. Hold on. This, wait, rolling bag on wheels. Yeah, yeah,
Ooh, okay,
yeah,
wait.
yeah. Like
Write this.
if you are a product-based founder, you need this.
Okay, wait. So okay, the wheels, do they disappear? Can you lock them?
You cannot lock them,
Hmm.
but it is collapsible. So you can like fold it down on itself, basically.
Uh,
You you need one. Like I geek out on this more than any. Like it is out in my living room at all times because I use it constant. I was using it 5 minutes before I got on, like in my
does it have a handle? Like a luggage handle?
there's two handles, like top handle and then also
Oh,
side handle.
I'm so interested. I thank you
Yes. I
because
was like, wait a minute. I was like thinking about what I geek out on the most, and it is like that. What about
I
you?
love that.
Businesses and all the good stuff.
Yeah, I have quite a few. I love Emma Creed from Skims, Good American, the whole Kardashian clan. But I really like how she went against the norms when it comes to how she got there. She said she had every, almost any job in the world. She worked in service, retail, of course. I'm not interested in fashion, but I could only imagine being an intern and being at an unpaid internship and like hustling your way up. And I love how she speaks to that the most rather than her success sometimes. I love brands. I'm thinking of a brand. Ami Collet. It's a makeup brand, very inclusive for like darker complexions. So also adjacent to how annoyed I was with my skin, like being dry. I couldn't find makeup. Like think of back to your like your first makeup, your first lip balm, your first eyebrow or your blush. That wasn't my story. Like it was very hard to find makeup that matched or complemented my complexion rather. And I finally found a brand. I'm 26 years old. I'm finally found a makeup brand that actually like I'm excited about and I wear every day. So also small brand
I want to look at the thing after. How do you spell it?
AM. I'm gonna show you my collection. It's right here. It's AM.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. I
Yeah,
got that. That's it.
it's so good. And it works really, really well. I'm not a makeup connoisseur, but of course, had to shout them out. Um, who else can I say? I'm thinking of Founder. Okay, I don't know if you know Native. They're a huge brand at this point, but I'm sure you're familiar with personal care. They were bootstrapped, of course, until the point of acquisition, but it was very inspiring to hear about like a true operator, like not a well, I guess in a sense a marketer, but like not showing up for content at all. Just like doing what you're good at can get you very, very far. I'm not good at ads or like analytics or actually being in the nitty gritty, but it's very inspiring to see how small you can be and how big your impact can be. So, definitely one of my favorite brands slash, I guess, founder story from a bootstrap lens.
Listen to Moise's podcast.
Yes,
The
I
okay,
do.
literally that is my favorite. I'm so happy you do because that is the best podcast. Like
Yes,
I
exactly.
like I don't know about you. I literally like every time I listen to an episode, I do something like after.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I listened to his and then Chew on This. Yeah, like they have very like tactical advice that we can act on. To your girl boss point, not to like make this that conversation, but sometimes we could add a lot of fluff to like how we got here or like to the story or actually to the meat. I feel like they get to the meat of like what you need to do as a founder in your position. Let me know if you feel the same.
Oh, yeah. And I think yeah, I don't want to hear as much about the existential like, you know, quippy little like, you know, fake it till you make it. Like no, 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 no. How did you fake it till you make it? Like
Right.
what was in your tech stack that helped you? Like do you know what I'm saying? Like and
Exactly.
that's what they do. Like they won't even say things like that. They'll be like, "Oh yeah, no, we just like did X to make it look like X until we actually had X." Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. I
That's
got
what
tired of that.
yeah. No, I can't. Like that I think is what they do so well on those podcasts is just like talk about like you said the tactical things that goes into their day to day. But yeah, like they I was listening to Limited Supply yesterday and they were talking about something like a new feature and on SMS and I was like immediately took a screenshot of the feature and I'm like we need this now.
Exactly. Exactly. And they'll tell the truth about it too,
Yes.
you know? But I feel like more people or all founders need that kind of lens as well. Because it can be glamorized to do what we do. You know what I mean?
I think people Actually, let me ask you this on that note. Maybe this is a good place to like wrap too.
Yeah.
What is something that people wouldn't expect about your day to day, or like something that is just unglamorous in general that is part of your day to day? You can answer like both of those things, just something
Oh
unexpected.
my God. It's the worst. Like, I don't know if you physically ship orders. Like, you actually go. I go to the post office every day. She knows my first and last name at this point. I know her kids. And I see her every morning at 10 a.m. And it's the most unglamorous thing because I will go and it's the longest line at 10 a.m. sometimes, or it's one person there. I've witnessed people fighting. I've witnessed people like frustrated about their Christmas order not being delivered. I've seen the most annoying scenarios happen out of nowhere
Yes.
going to that post office.
Yes. Like that is so true. Also, I hope this lady at the post office is gonna get a buttered gift box like for Christmas because
Uh, yeah, absolutely. She's like, oh, because we have like tape around like all the boxes, like custom tape. And she's like, oh, this is a new box, huh? Like she'll say it. And I'm like, yeah. Like it's so unglamorous. It's so mundane. But like, yeah, like when the pandemic hit and we're like speaking towards like service workers, definitely very essential to like all of the small businesses around the world. Well, product based at least. Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, no, it really is like, and again, it's so trite, but I don't think people understand how ground level small businesses are. Like you are tendering your own packages at the post. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you're handing it to another woman who is like, nice new tape. Like this is
Yeah, exactly.
saying like it's like
We're at that point.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's so granular. Yeah, like we actually
Yeah.
had a similar experience recently where we like changed one of our like return addresses, and the post office said to the person that drops off our packages, they're like, you need to like, you didn't format this right. You need to tell the founder like
Uh,
to format this
right.
correctly.
Right.
It's
Oh
like
my God.
okay, fine. But it's like again, it's like that's the type of stuff where yeah, okay, now shoot. Now I've got to drop what I'm doing,
Yeah.
and go format some labels. Like, like
Yeah. To make them happy. At
to,
least. You gotta get on their good side. I'm
oh,
telling you.
for sure. That's why I'm like, I do not mess around with like if they tell me to format the labels, I will try my darndest to format the labels. Like
Exactly.
we want to do right by them.
What's your most unsexy part about your day?
I mean, just dropping everything to like fight fires
Yeah.
and spreadsheets, and
Yeah.
there's honestly like anytime, I step in to help do like returns processing and things like that, returns processing as a swimwear brand is like really interesting.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
That I would say inherently is a really unglamorous side of it. Any reverse logistics as an intimates company. Um, but but yeah, I would say like just I'm so in the weeds, and I love being an operator. I do.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
But I think people expect me to not like it, and I remember I was like I had like an advisor or something. He's like, "We got to get you out of the weeds, and you just need to be the visionary." And I'm like, I'd actually rather hire someone eventually to be the visionary. Like I love doing.
Really?
Yeah. Like I would
Right.
collaborate with them obviously because I know the one with vision, but my personality at large like is not the visionary. My personality is like the operator. Like I love
Mm.
figuring. I love actually fighting the fire. Unfortunately, I like doing.
Oh my gosh. I wish there was a quiz that can tell you which one you are, like the visionary versus.
There's
Okay.
there's gotta be,
Yeah.
because I think that's really valuable information. I think the closest thing that we have to that in the startup world is like, when people say like, "Oh, are you a technical founder or a non-technical founder?"
Yeah.
Like, I guess, but I don't know. I feel like we go down a rabbit hole. I feel like we almost like need to like make a separate one-on-one call and we can just talk about this stuff because I love it.
Yeah. Because we all nerd out naturally.
We
Makes
will.
sense.
It's so fun. Okay, well, I think that's a great place to wrap it with our
Yeah.
unglam things that we do. And yeah, thank you, everybody. I think this will be fun to like, because I think we get a recording of the live, right? Or you get a recording of the live so we can
Yeah.
take it and like chop it up a little.
Yeah, of course. And it chops it up for us too, which is really
Yay.
cool. So I'll save it. Thank you so much for hopping on. I know we went a little bit over, but this was great. How do you feel?
No, this is so fun. And again, I could talk to you forever. And
Yeah.
again, I truly love your product and I can't wait to see what's in store for Buttered and for One With, I think.
Are you doing anything special for the holidays, wise, sale wise? Of course, we have the giveaway.
Yes,
Yeah.
we are announcing, and we did this last year and it was a big success. We're doing a warehouse sale, like to make room for 2024.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Define that. Define warehouse sale.
So select items, which we'll announce next week, will be 10, 15, or $20. Like everything apart, that's a part of the warehouse sale, which won't be everything, but the items that are a part of the warehouse sale, the prices are 10, 15, $20, like everything.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
You guys hear that in the chat? Hear that in recording?
I have not announced this yet, so
Stay
this will
tuned.
be.
You just got an exclusive.
What about you?
For us, we just have the gift boxes, of course, for the holidays. And of course, we have our joint giveaway that ends next week, which I'm excited about. But yeah, we're focusing on the gift boxes. This is our first time doing it. So if you guys are interested, head to butteredbodycare.com. They're also on Amazon and Walmart.com too.
Amazing. I will be ordering one. I actually keep meaning to. I want to give it to my friend. What's your last holiday shipping day? Friday.
Honestly, I don't have a last holiday shipping day. The post office, when the post office is closed, that is my last. Exactly, exactly. So, um, anytime before, of course, the official Christmas and New Year's Day.
Amazing. Okay, thank you, Brittany. Everyone go into our giveaway. It's really bomb. It's really cute. It's on both of our pages. And have such a good night, Brittany, and I'll talk to you soon, I'm sure.
See you soon.
All right. Have a good night.
Bye. Bye, y'all.